Willkommen zurück, liebe Freunde, zu einer neuen Folge Game of Thrones. Lange ist es her, dass die letzte Folge rauskam. Für die Leute, die die Playlist später schauen, ist es natürlich direkt im Anschluss. Aber ich musste ein bisschen das Zimmer umbauen, so damit hier die Aufnahmesituation ein bisschen besser ist. Dadurch sollte sich auch die Soundqualität deutlich verbessert haben. Gebt mir mal Feedback dazu, ob das alles so passt. Und einen Daumen hoch, wenn es gefällt. Ansonsten bleibt dieser Channel immer auf Seite 17 oder so bei YouTube zu finden. Das war eigentlich nicht das Ziel.
A handmaiden, she has Marjorie Tyrell's favor, and Lady Marjorie's betrothal to the king may be enough to keep the Boltons at bay, if it's presented to her as it should be.
Und wir starten wieder mit einem neuen Charakter. Ich glaube 5 oder 6 sollte es in diesem Spiel geben. Das ist die dritte, die wir jetzt spielen können. Und das hat ja wahnsinnig viel gebracht, auf diesen Eimer zu schauen. Vielleicht gibt es in dieser Kiste ein bisschen mehr zu sehen.
Ethan made this for me. Father, much excitement here in King's Landing for the coming wedding. Lady Marjorie has proven to be quite popular throughout the city. I do wish you and Mother could come, although I know it would be impossible under the circumstances. I miss all of you, and I look forward to the day you can.
Was haben wir noch? Eine Brosche.
It was very kind of Lady Marjorie to give this to me. It once belonged to Lady Elena.
Sehr unprofessionell das Handy noch angelassen. Während der Aufnahme, ganz
Ashes
toll.
sent me this coin to remember him. What a strange place, Essos. Wonders Made by Man, by Lomas Longstrider. A gift from Roderick. I hope to see them all someday.
So, nu? Genau, schau aus dem Fenster. Noch traurige Gedanken.
Landing. I wonder if it's sunny at Ironrath today.
Also heute klappt wirklich alles. Da klingelt das Telefon, da klingelt das Handy. Ausgezeichnet.
It troubles me to even ask this of you, but you must appeal to Lady Marjorie to intervene on our behalf. She is our best hope, and can be a powerful ally, especially now when your family so desperately needs her help.
So, Lady Marjorie kennt man ja aus Staffel 3 sehr gut. Und sie macht dort, glaube ich, den freundlichsten Eindruck in Königsmund. Und wie die Leute jetzt hier schon in den Briefen erzählen, wahrscheinlich die einzige Hoffnung, um das mit den Boltons wieder in die Reihe zu kriegen.
Oh, sorry, milady. I didn't mean to disturb you. I can come back later if you'd like.
No, it's fine. Come in.
Begging your pardon, milady, but are you alright? If you don't mind my asking, you seem rather upset.
I'm fine, thank you.
Of course, milady.
Please hurry if you can. Lady Marjorie will be here any minute.
Of course, milady. You work for Lady Marjorie? I may be wrong, but it seems like you do.
It's widely known that I work for Lady Marjorie.
I've seen you with her before. You seem like good friends. I saw Lady Marjorie just this morning, outside the Royal Sept, talking to Queen Cersei.
Cersei?
They appeared to be having some sort of disagreement. I couldn't hear much, but it was definitely an argument.
What did they say?
I couldn't make out much, but I know they were talking about the Starks and Haus Forrester.
Haus Forrester?
I hope you're not in any kind of trouble, but I thought you ought to know. Most people don't tend to notice a call boy, not in King's Landing with so many lords and ladies about. You see and hear all sorts of things when people don't even know you're there. Good night, my lady.
Vielleicht ein kleiner Spion für uns. Anfang war ich ein bisschen misstrauisch. Es gibt ja genug Leute, die so kleine Spione für sich halten. Und jede Information, die man dann preisgibt, kann an die falschen Leute geraten.
Lady Marjorie, you're early.
I was hoping there would be time for us to talk. Come, there's something we must discuss. From the day you arrived in Highgarden, I've thought of you more as a friend than as my handmaiden. A dear friend, in fact.
Thank you, my lady.
And you know how I feel about what's happened to your family. I feel your pain as if it were my own. What you've suffered is beyond imagining. And your poor family as well.
I need your help, my lady.
Of course, and I will help you in any way I can. But there's another matter we must attend to first. You must understand there are limits to what I can say, especially here in King's Landing, now that I am to be queen. To have a handmaiden from the north, whose family fought for Robb Stark. It raises questions at a time I can least afford. Cersei herself cornered me this morning outside the Royal Sept. She mentioned the northern girl in my service, and she painted you a traitor. She was very pleased with herself. Her face was full of mirth as she said it.
How did you respond?
I told her you are one of my most trusted handmaidens, that you can hardly be blamed for the actions of your father and brother. Nonetheless, she demands an audience. She wants an apology of some sort, for what I don't know, but she's waiting for us now, and I promised I would bring you to her. I wouldn't ask this of you if it were not important. I cannot afford any conflict with Cersei with the wedding so near.
I'll do as you ask, my lady.
I knew I could trust you. Humor her. Tell her what she wants to hear. See if the Queen Regent is ready to receive us.
Das kann natürlich jetzt total nach hinten losgehen. Für die ganze Familie.
You'll be fine. I know you will. You may feel one thing, but you must say another.
Good luck.
Aber das Spiel ist sehr authentisch, muss ich mal kurz sagen. Wenn hier Lady Marjorie mit ihr Hand in Hand läuft, ist es exakt wie in der Serie. Die Armhaltung und die Blicke so und die fantastisch. Also wirklich großartig gemacht.
You can do this.
Auch das erste Mal, dass wir den Gnom sehen. Sehr cool. Der kleine Tyrion, der ist mir auch in der Serie sehr ans Herz gewachsen.
Ah, Lady Marjorie. Aren't you looking lovely this evening?
Lord Tyrion. Your Grace? With your permission, allow me to introduce Lady Mira of Haus Forrester.
Your Grace.
The
girl knows her courtesies. Impressive. You may rise.
Haus Forrester is a northern house loyal to the king.
Are they?
I beg your pardon, Your
Oh, jetzt
Grace.
muss er schön in den Arsch kriechen.
I want to hear from the girl. Is your family loyal to the king?
Perhaps you should ask the new Lord Forrester.
He's not here, is he? She is. The girl can speak for her house.
House Forrester's loyalty to the crown never wavers, Your Grace.
I see. And yet, for centuries the Forresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark. A house of traitors.
Oh Mann, jetzt muss ich da noch
Yes, Your
zustimmen.
Grace. They are traitors.
The Starks were your liege lord, yet you name them traitors so easily.
Clearly her loyalty wavers quite a lot.
If she has any loyalty at all,
Oh, fuck.
is your house willing to swear fealty to your new liege lord, Roose Bolton?
Oh,
He
dieser
is the
Wichser.
Warden of the North, Your Grace.
He is. And I the Queen Regent, and Tyrion the Master of Coin.
The girl has a remarkable talent for answering questions while in fact saying nothing at all.
Das war die Taktik.
Old allegiances are not easily abandoned. But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies. I'm told there are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forrester.
Forster Ironwood does seem rather unique.
Yes, Your Grace.
It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary to save Casterly Rock. It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours.
Yes, Your Grace. I would do anything.
I see.
What would you have the girl do, Cersei? It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
It raises an interesting question, I suppose. Can we truly blame those who end up on the wrong side of the war? Our dear Marjorie here was betrothed to Renly Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule the Seven Kingdoms. Can we fault her for her mistake? Should she be held accountable?
I won't judge her, Your Grace. I wasn't there. I didn't face her decisions.
Aren't you a delightful girl? If only one could flit through life without ever holding an opinion of their own.
If there's a point to this, I hope you find it quickly.
Loyalty can be such a hard thing to define. This city alone is filled with all sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not. Who knows what lurks within their hearts? You are a girl from the north, here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
I'm sure she
Let the
would...
girl answer the question. Go on.
Oh, fuck.
I would be true to the king, Your Grace.
Well said. I was beginning to worry you didn't have your priorities straight.
Ich hätte lieber Marjorie
She
ausgewählt,
is a
aber
threat to the crown, isn't she?
man will sich eigentlich mit den
Most
Lannisters jetzt nicht
dangerous
gerade
handmaiden
anlegen.
in all of King's Landing.
My sense is this girl will say almost anything to get what she wants. Which is not very encouraging.
Gut, alles falsch gemacht.
I'd like a word with you, if I may.
Oh,
Of
fuck.
course, Your Grace.
Oh, und sie guckt auch noch böse rüber. Oh nein.
I'll walk you out. This may come as a surprise, but I met your father once, at the tourney at Lannisport. Even then he didn't trust Roose Bolton. We only spoke briefly, but your father struck me as an honorable man. You have my condolences for his loss. These would be trying times for your family, even under the best of circumstances.
These are trying times, my lord. My family fears what might happen now that the Boltons rule the north.
They must still answer to the crown. You shouldn't forget that, nor should they. That certainly took courage. To so publicly declare your loyalty to Joffrey for all to hear. Poor Lady Margaery was humiliated, although Cersei seemed quite pleased. It was quite the first impression. I, of course, found it all highly entertaining.
I did it for Lady Margaery.
Rather odd, if that's what she asked of you. But I'm sure she has your best interests at heart. My sister and I have our differences. She takes great pleasure in her little charades. I take mine in thwarting them. We must find our amusements where we can. She threatened to give your ironwood to another house. It is the Master of Coin who decides such matters. The crown needs boats. Boats need wood, and I speak for the crown in this regard, not her.
What are you suggesting?
I suppose the crown could be persuaded to secure ironwood from House Forrester. Lady Margaery might not look favorably on such an alliance, and it would infuriate Cersei. Although what would be amusing for me might prove rather dangerous for you and your house. Are you willing to risk that? It may be far too dangerous. In fact, forget I even suggested such a thing.
I'm sorry, Lord Tyrion, but it's a risk I cannot afford.
I admire your discretion. Now, if you'll excuse me, I promised Sansa I would join her for dinner tonight. 3 beautiful bottles of Dornish wine await my arrival. The mere thought of them makes me thirsty already.
Thank you for the advice, Lord Tyrion.
Just be careful. This is not the North. King's Landing can be a nest of vipers to the uninitiated.
Mira, I was worried. How was it? Cersei has a way of looking at you as though you're nothing.
It didn't go very well.
I'm sorry. Cersei is known for being rather difficult. But at least it's over now. Lady Margaery has spent the entire day working on seating arrangements for the wedding. Of course, you and I are seated way at the back, here with the 4th cousins and the 9th-born sons. Ah, Sir Jaime. I wouldn't mind tarnishing that white cloak of his.
Sarah!
What? It's true. And Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper. I'm told he has a paramour.
He is quite handsome.
And quite passionate.
Leider steht er nicht auf Frauen.
Perhaps Lady Margaery could make the right introductions. Who knows? We might meet our future husbands. Although, marrying a king, I can only imagine what that would be like. Would you marry Joffrey if it meant you'd become queen? He does have a certain look about him, and he's always treated Lady Margaery well.
I'd be willing to marry, but not Joffrey.
Well, I would marry him. Imagine the power you would have as Queen of the 7 Kingdoms. I might even allow you to be my handmaiden. Let's see, who else should we marry off? Brienne of Tarth and Tyrion Lannister. What a perfect match! Sir Bronn and...
What are you doing?
Oh, jetzt gibt's nochmal richtig Ärger, glaube ich, zum Abschluss.
Well? Sarah?
I'm sorry, my lady.
As am I. We shouldn't have been messing about.
This is not a game. It's a battle plan. Allies and enemies can be made with every move. Yet they say it is men who are powerful. The Queen was pleased by your display, Mira. I'm just glad it's over. King's Landing can be exhausting sometimes. There's always someone to please or some perceived slight to smooth over. I fear it will only get worse when I am queen.
Once they know your true heart, the lords and ladies will have no choice but to love you.
Do you agree?
Once you are queen, the lords and ladies will do their best to please you.
You learn very quickly. Your words to Cersei were brave, but I know you must fear what the Boltons might do to your family. I do appreciate your willingness to appease her, as difficult as it may have been.
Thank you, my lady. There's been something on my mind. Something important. I did have a favor to ask of you in return.
Whatever you wish to say, you can say it in front of Sarah. There are no secrets between us.
It's about my family.
I trust her.
Ach Gott. Lassen wir sie dabei.
Go on. Ask.
Forgive me, my lady. I wouldn't otherwise ask this of you, but my mother insisted. It's about my family.
Ramsay Snow. What would you have me do?
My mother fears our family will suffer if Ramsay is left to do as he likes. She thought, if a raven could be sent to the Boltons to let them know House Forrester has the protection of the crown. I know it's a lot to ask of you, and I wouldn't otherwise, but she insisted.
That is no small request, especially now.
I know, my lady, and I wouldn't ask this of you otherwise. But my mother has left me no choice. She insisted.
Wie oft will sie das noch
Joffrey
sagen?
knows only too well your family fought for the Starks, and now you would have me ask him to intervene. Is the situation that dire?
You can't, my lady. King Joffrey won't like it. Just think how he turned on Lady Sansa.
Please, Lady Marjorie, I beg of you. I fear for my family's safety.
I don't know, Mira. If Cersei were to find out...
You're the only one who can help me. You have power over him, Lady Marjorie, as no one else does. Not even his mother.
Da hat sie
Ramsay
recht.
Snow will arrive at Ironrath within the week. I would never ask this of you if it weren't so urgent.
Komm schon.
Very well. I'll make your request, but I cannot promise anything.
Thank you, my lady.
Oh, ein guter
I will
Anfang.
send a raven to my family at once.
Und damit schließen wir diese Folge ab. Zusammenfassend ist eigentlich wahnsinnig viel schiefgelaufen. Erst mit der Aufnahme, es klingelt das Telefon, das Handy. Oh Gott. Und dann haben wir der Königin versprochen, dass wir ihr loyal gegenüber sind, was wir natürlich nicht sein wollen. Aber erstmal, um die Situation ein bisschen zu beruhigen. Und jetzt bringen wir natürlich Lady Marjorie auch in eine gefährliche Situation, wenn sie uns hilft und sich entgegen der Queen entscheidet, unser Haus unter Schutz zu stellen, damit wir von den Boltons nicht alle abgeschlachtet werden. Wie wir aus der Serie wissen, sind das ja wirklich nicht sehr nette Leute. Gut, Freunde, das war's. Dann sehen wir uns in der nächsten Folge.